Angels of the Mazzaroth, the Celestial Hierarchy. Welcome back, family. Today we are going to begin a new series. We are going to be breaking down all of the angels of the Mazzaroth and showing how each of these angels represent different planets, or they rule over those planets, and they also rule over very specific houses within the Mazzaroth, or what you would call a constellation. And it goes much deeper than that. We are just going to begin to scratch the surface on the things that I've found, and I want to bring this out to the body of Messiah because these angels play a very important role in everything that we're seeing in the heavens. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look at a very important sign in the heavens. If you've been following me for a while, then you will probably remember back to this sign in the heavens. This is Comet C2024 G3 Atlas on the winter solstice. We have an alignment with the constellation of Scorpius. And if we scroll back here, we see a very important sign. The planet Mercury has just entered into the Hupa of Ophiuchus, and you can see that here. And this is a big part of this comet. Hopefully I didn't lose it. Sometimes these comets just disappear on me. Atlas has been pretty good for me. But we're looking at a very important alignment. We have Mercury, which is the Archangel Raphael. And we're going to be breaking down the Archangel Raphael and the Archangel Gabriel today. It's going to take some time to get through this series because we have multiple very important angels that we have to break down, and it's going to take us time to go through those studies and then also look into the Mazzaroth and see what the star story is telling us. It's very important to have this connection. This has actually been the last piece of the puzzle, or the key that I have been praying about for a very long time. I just didn't have the the planetary alignment with the angels down, and that makes a giant difference when we're doing these determinations. And I believe it's like I'm receiving the final key and the understanding of how this all plays out in Mazzaroth. As you know, I used to believe that Mercury was Gabriel the messenger, but after doing this angel study, I realized that Mercury is the Archangel Raphael, and he is also a messaging angel. And that's why we have these confusions, because the angels have many crossover responsibilities. and we're going to learn that today when we do this breakdown. But what I wanted to do here is I wanted to point out a very, very important sign in the Mazzaroth before we get to the research of the angels. We can see that Mercury, or Archangel Raphael, has entered into the constellation of Ophiuchus, and again, that is a representation of Michael wrestling the serpent. And so we are getting the sign of the the battle between the angels, which is two-thirds of the angels. We can look at as the angels that are still protecting the high heavens, and then we have one-third of the angels that are the fallen angels that we are watching the battle over, and those are represented by the constellation of Scorpius and also Serpens right here. So we see a battle in the heavens with these constellations, Ophiuchus representing the angels who are fighting in heaven, and we have Mercury right there, who is Archangel Raphael, and we see Comet Atlas aligned with Scorpius, marking the scorpion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing on Mercury and Comet Atlas. And again, this is Archangel Raphael. Let's go ahead and watch this. Okay, now I want you to see this very important sign. This is the transition of Atlas into the tabernacle. We're looking at Mercury in the very center of the Milky Way, and we're looking at the very beginning of the year. If you remember, on the 11th, at the very beginning of Hanukkah, if you remember back to Mazzaroth Hanukkah, we have Mercury, who is Raphael and not Gabriel, but it's still a messaging angel. And once you see the information about Raphael, you're going to be blown away. But we have this comet that was essentially connected to Mercury in that sign of the war in heaven. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be watching this comet, and I want you to pay attention. If you remember back, we had the comet go directly through the temple of sacrifice, and then if you remember, family, the comet aligned with the tail of the southern fish, and then it went, and I want you to pay attention to where it goes, family. This is really, really important for everyone to see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and scroll it in so you can see that it is marking the Anka star, which is the eye of the phoenix. And we're looking at Comet Atlas aligning with the eye of the phoenix on 3/17/2025. This comet was again involved in the signs of the war in heaven, and it also pointed out sacrifice and death, and it went through the southern fish. And to me, when I see this language in the heavens, it's pointing out war and death. And the southern fish, Piscis australis, is considered the left behind. And then it ends up at the phoenix eye, which is a sign of resurrection. Now I want you to watch the path of this comet, family. It's really important for us to understand the language in the heavens. So let's move forward, and I want you to just watch the path of this comet. And let's go ahead and scroll in. And now we're looking at the comet making its pass by Zeta. Let's just go ahead and go back, and we can just look at it here. This is the center of the clock, the Horologium constellation. This comet is directly in the middle of the clock on 6/1/25, family. I believe we're out of time, and I believe this could be a very, very important sign in the heavens. I believe this is associated with the tribulation, because it passes. Again, let's just go ahead and walk this back. This is very important stuff, fam. If we just go and we watch, we can even go back further. If you've been watching this channel, then you know we pointed this sign out. This is the comet aligned with the spear, and then it aligns with lupus, which is the sacrificed. We just have to listen to the language of where this comet is heading, because it's telling us a story. So then after it goes through the sacrificed, it lines up with the scorpion. It enters into the tabernacle. It even here it borders the shield of Scutum. Okay, you can see the actual artwork, and if you watch it go by these days, fam, you can see how on the 10th and the 11th, this goes right on the border of the shield. And that was also language to us. In the heavens, the comet is showing the tabernacle and the shield. And so if we just keep running, we can see then it goes through the temple of death and resurrection. It actually just goes through the front. So it's not pointing out resurrection here, it's pointing out death and sacrifice. So we can see how it does not go along the ecliptic, it goes south into the southern fishtail, and then it transitions its way. Oh, I have, sorry, fam. I have to get back on Atlas. And then let's go ahead and move forward. And we can see how it does its alignment here. And let's just go to the hours so you can see how it passes on the 17th and 18th. And then we'll move forward. It goes through the Phoenix and right into the clock, and we can see that it is making its pass by of Zeta Horologium. And we're in the center of the clock, and you can see how it passes right through the clock, and it passes right, it goes directly through the number 3 on the clock. And these are very, very, very important signs for us to be able to see. We're going to go ahead and go back to Mercury. And I want you to see where this ends up on the same time that that is centered on the clock. We're looking at Mercury, who is Raphael. Now Mercury is aligned with the Pollux in Gemini, which is the heavenly warrior brother. And this is a very, very important alignment. We're looking at the Archangel Raphael, again pointing to the war in heaven. And if you just look to the right, you're going to see Jupiter at the foot of Gemini, and you're going to see the sun directly in the what's called Silver Gate. And if you have seen my breakdown of the ancient Mazzaroth that they found in Israel, I've also done the Babylonian Stela breakdown. I've done like 5 ancient artifact breakdowns They are all, every single one of them, family, is the Silver Gate. It's all showing the very important area of the Silver Gate. It's associated with the Hyades and the Pleiades. It's associated with Orion and Auriga and the constellation Gemini. And Taurus and Gemini are both on the ecliptic on each side, and Orion and Auriga are both on the south and the north. And these are the four protectors of the Silver Gate. And you can see Jupiter and the Sun are directly in the Silver Gate. Now, the Sun, with our new determination, is the Archangel Michael. And then Jupiter is the Archangel Zadkiel. And we will be going into all of that determination. But Raphael is the Archangel of Gemini. And so I wanted to show you these signs all the way out until the summer solstice. We're looking at very, very important signs. If you just run, you can see right here, fam. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're just going to make sure everybody sees this. What's going to be coming this summer. We can see here that the sun aligns with the foot on the first day of summer, and then 3 days later we have the occultation of Jupiter. We can see how Jupiter is coming right out right there. If you look at the bottom, you can see Jupiter transition out. And then if we go back, we can watch Jupiter come out the other side. And this is called an occultation. They're going behind the sun, or any object that goes in front of it. It's called an occultation. We have the sun and Jupiter aligning on the 24th of June, 3 days after. And we can also see a very important alignment here. We have the two Bielas and asteroid Davida. And you just can't make these things up. This is a incredible sign in the heavens, and we have more things pointing it out. And then again, we have Mercury now transitioning. Let's go ahead and look at this from this angle. So now we have Mercury that is transitioning into Cancer, and you can see how the moon is now entering into the Silver Gate, and it's going to be entering into the Gemini constellation. Very important sign in the heavens. Also on this same day, we have the planet Uranus aligning with Pleiades. There's some very important signs in the heavens on this day. So now what we're going to do, we have shown you how important Mercury is in our storyline. We've been watching Mercury for years and years and years, thinking that it was the Archangel Gabriel, but we now know that it's the Archangel Raphael. So let's get into who Raphael is and what his duties are and what we can uh, gain from understanding the Archangel Raphael and how that will help us to make our determinations of what we're seeing in the heavens with the planet Mercury. So here we're on this channel, a higher view, and this is going to go into the Archangel Raphael, the divine healer. And this is a very, very, very important angel to me. Now that I know this information about Mercury, I've always had um, an affinity for tracking Mercury because I thought it was the messenger angel, and being a watchman, that really connects you to the planet Mercury. If it's a messaging angel, the watchmen are there to bring the message to the community, and I always saw that as a very, very important role, and Mercury representing that was important. And now I know that Raphael is the healer, and let's go ahead and get into this study. I'm gonna zoom this up just so that we have a little bit easier reading, and I hope that works for everybody. This is the Archangel Raphael, the divine healer. Revered for his compassionate nature, Archangel Raphael, whose name translates to God heals in Hebrew, is often invoked for his divine ability to heal physical ailments, soothe emotional wounds, and provide spiritual enlightenment. His presence is felt not only in Christian and Jewish faiths, but also extends to Islamic traditions and various esoteric and New Age beliefs. This article delves into the multifaceted role of Archangel Raphael, exploring his historical significance, symbolic associations, and the ways in which individuals can connect with his healing energy. Okay, so first this goes into Archangel Raphael and Christianity, and again I'll connect this. There's links in the description. We're not going to read everything, and if you want to come back and get into all the details, then you'd be more than welcome to just click into the links. In Christianity, Archangel Raphael is revered as a powerful intercessor and healer, though his presence is more pronounced in certain denominations than others. The Book of Tobit. The most significant biblical account of Raphael in Christianity comes from the Book of Tobit, where he plays a central role. Disguised as a human named Azariah, Raphael accompanies Tobias, the son of Tobit, on a journey to retrieve a debt. Along the way, Raphael provides guidance, protection, and healing. He reveals his true identity only at the end of the story, saying, "I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One." Tobit 12:15, King James Version. connection to the pool of Bethesda. Okay, fam, this is really important to me because I've been doing a bunch of research in the angel, and I was always looking for who this angel was, and now I finally have the information. In latter Christian tradition, Raphael is identified as the angel who stirred the waters in the pool of Bethesda as described in the Gospel of John, John 5:2-4. According to tradition, the angel Raphael would periodically stir the waters, and the first person to enter the pool afterward would be healed. This association with the pool of Bethesda further emphasizes Raphael's role as the divine healer in Christian lore, aligning with his reputation for healing and intercession. Patron saints to travelers. Archangel Raphael is considered the patron saint of travelers, the blind, medical workers, and matchmakers in Catholic tradition. His protective and healing presence is sought by those embarking on journeys, those in need of physical or spiritual healing, and those seeking companionship in marriage. And this goes into the artistic depictions. This was also very, very interesting to me. In Christian art, Raphael is often depicted holding a staff or a caduceus and accompanied by Tobias, who carries a fish. This imagery is drawn from the story of the Book of Tobit and symbolizes Raphael's role as a guide and a healer. Now I want you to think about that, who carries the fish. So that's very, very important. And here we can see the veneration. Raphael's veneration is more prominent in Catholic and Orthodox churches. His presence is also acknowledged in some Protestant denominations, albeit to a lesser extent. The feast days of Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, archangels is celebrated on September the 29th in the Catholic Church, honoring Raphael's place among the chief messengers of the gods. And I'm saying of the gods because, again, God is a title and not a name. So let's look at quickly. I'm just going to point out a couple things about the ark because it's very, very similar. It basically covers the same thing. But there is one thing here I want to point out. It says he is mentioned in the book of Enoch, and I have read that in the book of Enoch, but I did not associate that with the planet Mercury. And ancient Jewish apocryphal works where he is described as one of the four archangels who stands before God. In the Talmud, Raphael is referred to as one of the angels who has the power to heal. And there was one other one down here. Here. Here it says his energy is believed to assist in the repair of the soul's blemishes, known as tikkun, and in the purification of negative traits. And so this goes deeper than just healing of the physical. This is a very spiritual thing If you've read anything about the Sephiroth or any of those things, then this can go very, very deep. It's also in Islam, and it goes really deep into the esoteric. And if you feel the need to come and read through all these other things, um, it can help you to understand. This here was very important to me, and this is where we're going to end on Raphael. Um, this is the caduceus. One of the most common symbols associated with Raphael is the caduceus, a staff entwined with two serpents topped with the wings. This ancient symbol, often linked to medicine and healing, resonates with Raphael's role as a divine healer. And then I wanted to read this other last bit of information. We're actually going, because of the time, we're going to just have to do this one angel at a time and one breakdown at a time, because it's going to go, I'm going to end up having over an hour video, and so we're going to just do this one angel at a time. That means we're going to have a lot more parts, but it's going to be a lot better, so that I can get through all this information. So, fish. The fish is another significant symbol associated with Raphael, particularly in the reference to the book of Tobit. In the story, Raphael instructs Tobias to use the gall of a fish to cure his father's blindness. As a result, the fish is often included in artistic representation of Raphael, symbolizing his healing powers and his guidance in the story. And we're going to finish with this information. Raphael is sometimes depicted holding a jar or a vessel containing medicine or balm, further emphasizing his association with healing. This symbol highlights his role in providing remedies and relief for those in need. And so I feel as though this is a direct representation of my work here. I've been doing Essien Apothecary for uh, 30 years, family. I'm 50, I'll be 57 this year, and I began in my, uh, before I was even 20, I began studying the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Book of Enoch, and I started studying the Essene Way, and I was already, from the age of 17, I was already training in naturopathy and herbology, and I have a very, very deep training in health and wellness. And before I got into any of this work, I used to run wellness centers, and I was in the health club industry for the majority of my youth. So my whole life has been spent in health and wellness, and I believe that I'm finding out about this angel at the very last moment, because this is definitely part of my whole plan, and I want to thank you for coming. We're going to come back, and on our next video we will break down Archangel Gabriel, and that is the moon. So thanks again for coming, family. I hope this was a blessing to you, and that everybody, like I said, if you want, I will connect the links, and you can go and read as much information as you like. There's some great details there, and much love.